The title of this video is "The Only Alien You Need Is You." And also, the only angel you need is you. So I'm very happy when people send me little notes and videos and what's going on out there and Twitter and so forth, because I don't do many of the media platforms that are out there. So I don't know, but I was getting a really strong feeling that pretty soon we were going to have this event where Big Brother, Space Brother, Galactic Federation, Ashtar's Command, Great White Brotherhood, and all that was going to help the human race by offering their assistance. So I have been getting that and feeling like that, and also feeling like Project Bluebeam was going to be used, and sure enough, there were big orange halos in both England and Australia, which were holographic inserts. Now what's going around Twitter is a woman who's saying, sign here and all of these nations will be given back their power. Sign it and the Galactic Federation is going to then give you back your power. Folks, we don't need any intermediaries. We don't need any governments, and we don't need any galactic federations. You are the alien you need. Be very careful about this. I've spoken in my videos on Vimeo, on galactic astrology, that I was contacted in 2015 and 2016 by a space group who told me I was going to be part of First Contact, and I was going to have their ships land in my big field. My field was perfect. My field was then approved by a person named Cobra. I sent him the pictures. Since that time, I realized that that whole resistance movement and the Galactic Federation, and I've been to all these conferences, so it was my experience, that these are the invaders. We are the only DNA that can open the stargates. So the human DNA is the guardian race of this planet. We do not need any visitors to do anything. In fact, that is why I like the Voyagers 2, Edition 2 material. And I'm not thinking of that person who transcribed that information as my messiah either. Like, I'm only reading Voyagers 2, throwing out anything I don't believe in. I even understand that she may have been possibly replaced in 2012, and the original person who got that information from the founder's race is no longer the same person. So you just read it, take what you need, and what I knew to be my experience was in that Voyagers 2 book. The main thing being that I kept going to these ascension conferences, and they had the false light geometries, which have been proven to be a lockdown reincarnation schedule, okay? But what I really got was that we are the only aliens we need. We already have the best of the best DNA from the galaxy. So if you want to see an alien, look in the mirror. We don't need anyone else. And I'm going to show you a picture right now. This is Chicago. See the water and the spires? We had a free energy system right up until the early 1900s. We had a beautiful civilization on this planet. We are the only beings that are needed. And anything else, because there was an invasion by the Zeta Reticuli in the early 1900s, anything else that is pretending to be a human that is running the government or offering assistance with the governments is going to clear the real estate, take about 50,000 of us who have the fire codes. And that's why there are so many of these false light ascension way showers in the New Age. Okay, because they're looking for the indigos, the ones who have the fire codes. They might even send some galactic being into your house to show you pictures and images. And since my last videos, another one of my clients said, yeah, she was contacted in that same way. And she told me what picture images that they showed her. And it was the same as I. And then she had all of these Kundalini awakenings, and yeah, her fire codes were on. We don't need anyone to assist us. So there's a person, Margaret.L.Cornell with 2 L's on Twitter, and I don't do Twitter, so someone can respond to her if you want to. Do not be tricked. So apparently they're going to offer assistance to make sure there's no nuclear event. So that's what is going on right now. The whole ploy of what's going on right now is actually a bigger ploy than you understand. It's going to create this scenario where Big Brother's going to come in and save us from our own governments and our own nuclear disaster. That is what is going on, folks. And at the same time, there's this Project Bluebeam stuff going on with these big orange domes and other things that look like, oh, the stargates are opening. You won't see the stargates, folks. The stargates are inside. Do not be fooled by anything external. And I've tried to say that again and again. Do not be fooled by the external. The stargate is inside of you, and you can feel it inside of you. So don't look for some big halo orange thing in the sky as evidence. That's Project Bluebeam. Okay. The other thing I wanted to say is I've been invited to speak at a freedom rally, and I'm going to speak a little bit about how to detox during this time. And yesterday I was getting prepared with a video about chemtrails. Now this video was made with pilots, scientists, and researchers on the ground who was measuring what was coming down from the sky. This video was made 7 years ago under oath with testimony from these researchers. And then at the end of it, they said, oh, we're going to send this off to Congress, and we're going to make sure Congress doesn't allow this spraying of the sky. Well, it was sent off to Congress 7 years ago about this geoengineering, and Congress did nothing. Because Congress is the Zeta Reticuli invader groups, folks. Stop waiting for something outside of you in the external that's somehow going to make the right law so then you can govern yourself. You got to govern yourself from inside. The stargates only open from you. Do not sign anything that allows our territories to be, somehow an intermediary of the Galactic Federation is going to help you. Do not sign that stuff, folks, because they're going to clear the real estate. You think Earth is not a wanted place? Earth is the garden and the jewel of the multiverse, and it's yours. It's ours. We are the only aliens we need, and we are the only angels we need. So speaking about angels, long before I read Voyagers and understood the whole baloney with Archangel Michael, I knew that the Queen had appointed Klaus Schwab, who appointed himself, basically, the World Economic Forum in 1971. He appointed himself the leader of an organization, and she knighted him in the line of Archangel Michael. And I knew that before I ever read Voyagers. So that's why I speak about the Voyagers 2 book. Not because I need a guru. It's because that was my experience. And not because I need to follow somebody who is the messenger of the material. It was already my material. Okay? And my material is still coming through with this same thing now, that we should not be waiting for Space Brother to do something. So, the other thing I wanted to share with you is evidence of what I have known about that Stonehenge place. And if you don't know, Okay, that we had this beautiful civilization on this planet. All of our history is a lie. And then they rewrote our whole history, the Rockefellers and the Guggenheim Foundation in the 1950s. And they put up a whole bunch of like stone monuments as if we were Neolithic, strange stone people, when we had this beautiful civilization on this planet. So Stonehenge, where a lot of New Age folks go, is a ploy, folks, and I've got evidence from the construction of it that began in 1900 and was finished in 1958, and is aligned to Nibiru, Wormwood, the battle star, so that every time you praise that place or go there and play your drum on a solstice, you're feeding that, and there's an underground crystal in that place that would cause a pole shift if it gets enough of our earth energy. So I just want to show you this because the whole New Age is hijacked, and this whole thing of big space brother going to come and help us is also a hijack. You are the only angel that is needed. You are the only alien that is needed. Okay, so let's look at this. And I don't know who's, if this is copyrighted or whatever, I don't know. It's on a channel from D, but it's the Stonehenge rebuild that I want you to see.
19, and then most extensively in 1958, where the site was virtually cleared of all the stones. Then the site was excavated, and then the heavy lifting equipment came back in and put the stones into remade holes on which they were backfilled with ready-mixed concrete. Sadly, Stonehenge is today nothing more than a modern representation of an ancient monument, because it was dismantled and rebuilt. Yet the guidebooks, the history books, and the official documents all say Stonehenge was built 4,000 years ago or thereabouts. There's no reference that it was built in 1958 using ready-mixed concrete and steel and wooden blocks. How the British government got away with destroying an ancient monument, rebuilding it, I've absolutely no idea. And the real reason that the excavation work was carried out, and the real reason that the tunnelling underneath the site. But what is more important than any of that is the alignments. We can now never know for sure where those stones were aligned to. There is no way of ever getting that information back. The approximation that we now have that is being passed as some form of ancient, untouched, apart from conservation work site, is nothing of the sort. It is a rebuild, it's a copy, it's a replica of what was there. It goes to dismantling an ancient historic site, it goes to excavating an ancient historic site, and then it goes to rebuilding a site which is now no longer historic because it was taken down and it was rebuilt in the 1950s. So, as far as I'm concerned, that site is now a modern representation of something that used to be there.
Okay. So, in showing you that, I want you to realize that since 1900, we've had an invasion, and the Zeta Reticuli are using other races, other species, actually. that look like they're in human spacesuits. So he asks, like, how did the British government get away with that? Well, the British government is the invading group. All of these governments are. And they're always going to play a trick of both sides. So they will play the bad British government side, and they will also play the good guys who are going to liberate you from the British government side, which is this space brother baloney. You are the only alien you need. I want you to realize that. The Stargate is inside of you. In fact, one of my clients and a dear friend of mine has said that all of the monuments that are in Egypt were originally in what is North America, and the Nile was the Mississippi. So overlay the map of the Nile with the Mississippi and the Delta. And that's the kind of technology that these space group big brothers have. They can move entire monuments, not with cranes and trucks like that picture, but they can materialize and dematerialize and then put them somewhere else. Okay? So they didn't need slaves to build them. They didn't need levitation to build them. You didn't need sound technology to build them. They can dematerialize something and move it from North America on the Mississippi River to Egypt. So just you question everything, folks, about what's going on here. But the one thing that is incredibly important that you hear is that we are the guardians of this planet. We humans who are actual humans. We humans have the 12-strand DNA, the DNA that opens these stargates, and our DNA is turned on right now. So of course there would need to be this ploy on the planet of Big Brother alien coming to assist you, because right now your DNA is turning on from the solar codes. And Emmeline and I discussed that on Vimeo at Galactic Astrology about the 2017 stellar wave infusion, but also the one that just happened on February 17th of 2022. Our DNA is turned on. Do not give your power. Do not sign your name to anything that Big Space Brother is offering. All right? Hopefully this video will be able to be loaded on YouTube. Okay, see you all.